The Gezi Park protests were a series of demonstrations in Turkey that started on May 28, 2013 and ended in late August that same year. The protests began when the Erdogan government planned to tear down Gezi Park, one of the last green spaces in central Istanbul. The government planned to replace Gezi Park with a reconstruction of 19th century military barracks meant to house a shopping mall and a mosque. In opposition, environmentalists peacefully occupied the park and were met by the Turkish police with tear gas, pepper spray, and water cannons. After this police beatdown of the environmentalists, the Turkish population erupted en masse in protest. These protests aired many different concerns, from police brutality to LGBTQ rights. In response, the government doubled down on its hard repression of the demonstrators, and the movement slowed down and dissipated by late August. Gezi Park defies the typical framework of protests, because here we don't see one group versus another group. It's one group, unified despite their differences, against the government. Their forms of protestation include physical occupation of the space, which was a hallmark of the Occupy movement, along with use of graffiti, of pop culture references and humor, and the replication of messages via social media. Graffiti subverts the authorities' ability to regulate expression and appropriates space for oppositional movement. This occupation of space by many people also forced mingling between people who may not otherwise have met, such as homophobic soccer players and LGBTQ communities. The building of a mall as a 19th century barracks can be seen as a callback to the height of Ottoman power, as well as Erdogan's attempt to cement himself in history. As a mall, it also symbolizes neoliberalism associated with development and the Erdogan administration's lean towards the West. Despite lack of media coverage from local and international sources due to government cover-up, the movement spread online via social media. As the state implemented more brutal forms of repression, previously victimized groups joined the cause on the general protest against state violence. Taimbar calls this a brotherhood of dispossession and links Gezi Park to the broader history of Turkish state violence. Notably, many Kurds did not participate in Gezi. Bozkali notes that once Kurdistan was mentioned in a rally, awkward confusion filled the air and many people questioned why it was mentioned. This may be due to specific Turkish context of violence towards and repression of the Kurds. Despite this, the coalescence of a multi-identity movement shows the existence of a middle ground between seemingly different groups of society. Gezi Park represented groups of varying levels of dispossession, from the youth to the LGBTQ community, unified in a shared experience of violence.